So what made me want to become a professional wrestler is that it's just always been in my family. My papa, basically every time I went to his house, he would be like, "You want to see The Undertaker?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then we just watched wrestling together. And I always thought it was cool, but like I never really got past the entrances and watched the matches themselves until like a few years later, after he passed or whatever. I got away from it and I started watching it again. I'm like, and Becky Lynch was on the screen, and Seth Rollins was on the screen, and The Fiend was on the screen. I'm like, and some of them were in a cage. I was like, wait, this is sick. And I'm like, I only see like one or two females though on the show. I'm like, what if?
So the difference between Madison and Kate Thorn is I feel like Kate Thorn is more on the aggression side, but she still cares for her fans, but she's in the ring to do business. While Madison, on the other hand, she has that more caring aspect to her, and yes, she does mean business for a lot of stuff that she does, and she does have that aggression side every now and then, but she's a true sweetheart. So Kate Thorne, I feel like more just has that she means business, she's there to do business, while Madison she just lives in the moment whenever she can. She just cares for people, cares for herself, she cares for the atmosphere around her.
Like she's all, straight A's. Like I maybe people would or would not be surprised by that, but like she's always worked extremely hard and is an overachiever. So both athletically and academically, she's right on target.
My parents' reaction, becoming a professional wrestler. I'll start with my mom. She was not thrilled at all at first, despite what she said. She was not happy. She was just like, what about dance and this and that, since I've been dancing since I was 4. So obviously, like, it's a big difference, dance and wrestling, polar opposites. So she wasn't thrilled. She was honestly, I would say, pissed off.
Of course, I was very nervous about her potentially getting injured and what it would be like to be a professional wrestler. It happens.
My dad, he was all for it. He's just like, you do what you want to do. He's like, I will support you every step of the way. He paid for my initial first 2 months of training, and then I basically paid for everything wrestling related after that.
I'm the one that had to sign off on the paperwork for her to start training because she was still deemed a minor, so they needed parental consent. I do not believe her mother would have signed the paperwork, so I was more than happy to sign it because I saw her passion for it.
So I first met Madison. We've been training at the battlefield with Alpha Junior for a few years now. I had already been there for a couple months, and then she showed up. She was actually like one of the first that we had a few girls, but she was one of the first girls that showed up to that training camp. So I got to know her through that.
How Madison got started in wrestling was from my brother. He started wrestling, and I told her that my brother had a very first match. We went to go watch him, and I just saw like the love on her face. And next thing you know, she's like, I'm kind of interested in that.
How does dancing help my wrestling? It helps in so many ways. Because dance like helps with coordination, balance, agility.
Dance is very much like that. It's choreographing and storytelling, and so there is definitely some alignment between the two.
Her mother was one that, obviously she's her daughter, so she, was kind of got her involved in dance and gymnastics early, and she just excelled pretty well in dance and stuff. And wrestling was just something that kind of developed later on. For her, probably after she became a teenager.
In wrestling training, like some guys are like missing it up, and like I'm like picking up like this, and they're like, how is she doing it? I'm like, I've been memorizing since I was 4. So it's like it was something that kind of easily more came to me when you've already been athletic your life and already part of another sport or art. It really does easily translate because it's also such a more physical sport. So the day of my injury, I was like, this is gonna be a good match, great. So basically the spot we had, it was pretty basic spot. I always make sure like I don't overwhelm my opponent. And as soon as we start, she immediately already botched it by backing me into the wrong corner. I'm like, okay, how do we work with this? And it was just the opposite one that she wanted. And I was giving her a physical cue of how to do the next move. So I give her a physical cue. I'm midair. She does the wrong arm. And the thing is, the move's it's mainly on me anyway. She barely does anything. So it's like, okay, she didn't get the physical cue. It's all right. Start coming down, and then it just doesn't feel right. And then I land, and like my knee snaps and does a 360. And I'm just standing there up there in so much pain. Like I endure so much pain in my life. I have a high pain tolerance, and I've never experienced anything like that.
How I found out Madison got injured, I was eating dinner and she texted me. Well, she texted a group chat and was like, #going to the hospital. And I'm just like, what is this girl going to the hospital for? Because she was in a match. I'm like, why is she in the hospital? And I'm kind of thinking like every worst case scenario.
Is dance my career? Is wrestling my career? Do I just maybe switch to PT since I know so much about my body because I have so many injuries? I don't know. It's like I do want to return to the ring, but like, what's my motive?
They always ask, so which one is she going to pursue more? Is she going to go more into dance or more into wrestling? And I'm like, yeah, I think we'll see where it goes once she graduates and stuff. But yeah, they all very supportive, and everyone pretty much from the family all agrees she'll do great in whichever one she pursues if she chooses one over the other. And some wouldn't be surprised if she somehow manages to, manage both at the same time. She truly is a gift from God to me. She's everything. She's just so well loved and respectful and helpful and caring, and it's just she's always looking out after me, making sure I'm okay and stuff, and she's just an amazing kid.
So Spiritual Life certainly tries to support Madison in her studies and in her career by just trying to make sure that she understands that first of all, we're there for her, and secondly, developing those types of skills that hopefully she would find useful in leadership in her own career.
I didn't think you were going to go all the way to the ground either. I didn't know you were going down with me. I don't know what.
Working with Madison, it's really fun. I'm surrounded by her 24/7. She's always just such a bright light to my day. So getting to be able to work with her just is so much fun.
These can stay in their original containers.
Yeah.
But maybe a bowl for this would be good.
Bowl spins.
The spirit leader has helped me as a student. It's more helped me as a person first. It's definitely taught me a lot of patience, but also it showed me how to be more creative in a more logical sense, rather than just a physical sense. So obviously patience goes with everything.
When I found out Madison was a professional wrestler, I kind of said, really? And she showed me an Instagram reel, and all I could think and all I could say was, wow, you are a badass. That's the only word. Maybe it's not a very chaplain-y word, but that's the only word I can think of.
Working with Madison, she's just a lot of fun sometimes, and she's very tough.
My recovery time to be back 110% is 9 months. I'm making it 9 months. The doctor's saying oh, minimum 9 months. I'm like, no, max 9 months. I'm doing it in 9 months. But that's just to be physically healthy again, to be dancing. For wrestling though, it's completely different. because obviously I have to go back into training with this knee and basically relearn everything, get back to where I was and past that. So for wrestling, it's probably at least a year. It could be up to 2, who knows, because the 9 months puts me right back at the beginning of next fall semester. And then obviously I'll be here for college, so then I don't have time to train. So then I'll probably be 2 more semesters where I'm not training for wrestling. So it might be 2 years at this point, which will be very frustrating because wrestling is literally my outlet for my aggression and my anger side.
I think her biggest thing will be patience, because she's already told the doctor's given her like how many months it might be, and she's like, yeah, it's not going past a day past that kind of thing. So I think my biggest advice for her would be to follow her PT schedule and whatever that may be, and to listen to the doctor's advice.
She definitely brings something new to the table, especially, you know, for women, because there's not as many women as there are males. So she definitely brings something new to the table for that. So I can see her, if she stays with it, if she dedicates herself, she will climb to the top quicker than we'll realize.
Will I step back into the ring? I would love to. I would really love to. Honestly, I would like to see Kate Thorn to continue to develop further and evolve because she's not done. Like, I'm not going out like that. Like, that's crazy. I deserve better than that for myself. And, but the question is that what God wants for me? That's the question. So, God willing, I would love to step back into the ring because there's a lot more in my back pocket that I'm ready to whoop these people with. So man or woman, I don't care. I'm not done. Gotta show people who are boss, you know.